There's a mystery in your bedroom. Every night, and I mean every single night, you spend 8 hours in bed, yet you wake up feeling like you barely slept. The numbers don't add up. Those 8 hours aren't equal. Consider your brain performing this incredibly intricate dance of restoration every night, but modern life is forcing it to dance with a broken leg. In the next 15 minutes, you'll discover why those 8 hours don't serve you well, and more importantly, how to fix them. This isn't just about sleeping longer. It's about transforming those hours into something meaningful for your brain's performance. I'm about to share something that will change everything you thought you knew about sleep. The solutions are simpler than you might think. Part 1. Sleep architecture and biology. Your brain actually works like this fascinating city at night. During those 8 hours when you're sleeping, there's this incredible process happening, and it unfolds in 4 distinct stages. Understanding these stages will completely change how you think about sleep. Let's begin with stage 1. What we call light sleep 1. Your muscles gradually start to relax, your thoughts drift around, but you can still snap awake easily. It's similar to your brain testing the waters before it decides to dive deeper. In stage 2, your brain starts creating these remarkable bursts. We call them sleep spindles. Picture millions of neurons firing in perfect harmony, working together to store all those memories you made during the day. This process is quite beautiful when you think about it. Then we get to stage 3, what we call deep sleep. Your brain activates its own cleanup crew, something we call the glymphatic system. Imagine having this efficient army of microscopic janitors rushing through your brain, clearing out all those toxic proteins that built up while you were going about your day. And finally, we have stage 4, REM. During this time, your brain becomes almost as active as when you're awake, busy processing emotions and strengthening those memories that matter. But here's something most people misunderstand about sleep cycles, and I believe this too. They're not these rigid 90-minute blocks like we used to think. Your brain is smarter than that. It adapts the length of each stage based on what your body and mind need at that moment. You know how sleep works? Throughout your day, there's this molecule, we call it adenosine, which builds up in your brain. Think of it as kind of like your body's sleep pressure gauge. The more adenosine you have, the sleepier you feel. And that afternoon coffee you might rely on? Well, it actually just blocks these receptors temporarily, essentially fooling your brain into thinking it's not tired. That weekend sleep-in you're counting on? I hate to break it to you, but it's like trying to pay off a credit card with pocket change. Sleep debt doesn't work that way. What your brain needs is consistent, quality sleep to perform its nightly maintenance. Part 2. Circadian rhythm insights. Now that we've covered how your brain orchestrates these sleep stages, I'll explain the powerful timekeepers that control when these stages happen. You know, your body's timing system is actually way more complex than even the finest Swiss watch. Forget everything you've heard about having just one body clock. In reality, you have thousands of them. Every single organ in your body runs on its own schedule. Your gut, your liver, your muscles, they're all following their own unique rhythms. There's this master clock in your brain that works like a brilliant conductor, keeping everything in perfect sync, just like in an orchestra. Those first 2 hours after you wake up, they're absolutely critical. When sunlight hits your eyes, it triggers this amazing cascade of timing signals throughout your entire body. This is essentially like pressing the reset button on all your biological clocks at once. Scientists have identified what they call social jet lag. When you stay up late on weekends, you're basically putting your body through the equivalent of flying to a different time zone without ever leaving your couch. Your body really doesn't like this. Regarding temperature, your body actually needs to drop its core temperature by about 2 degrees to initiate deep sleep. That's precisely why that 2 to 3 a.m. window is so crucial. It's your body's natural cooling period. And have you ever noticed that second wind you get at night? There's actually a scientific reason for this. We observe what we call a forbidden zone for sleep. It's this period when your body actively fights against falling asleep, usually about 2 to 3 hours before your normal bedtime. Fighting this natural rhythm is like trying to swim against a really powerful current. You might make some progress, but you're just exhausting yourself. Part 3. Environment and hidden sleep disruptors. The environment around your bed is like this incredible symphony of invisible forces that control your sleep. Our modern homes have actually created what research shows is a perfect storm of sleep-disrupting elements that our ancestors never had to deal with. Consider what might be happening in your bedroom right now, these silent sleep thieves. You might not realize it, but every small noise, that subtle hum from your fridge, that distant car alarm, even your partner's breathing, creates these tiny disruptions in your sleep. Your brain is registering these sounds even when you're not consciously aware of them. Everyone talks about blue light, but here's the truth. Brightness matters too, even for other colors. It's actually screen brightness that matters more. Think about it. Your brain interprets any bright light as the sun, and naturally, when your brain thinks it's seeing sunlight, it's going to tell you to stay awake. Your brain actually reads the changing length of days through these special light receptors in your eyes. And when seasons shift, your sleep chemistry needs nearly 2 weeks to catch up. But most of us, myself included at one point, fight against this natural adjustment instead of working with it. Consider electromagnetic fields. Your bedroom is literally buzzing with them, from your phone, Wi-Fi, smart devices, even that alarm clock by your bed. Each one of these sends these subtle signals that confuse your brain's sleep switches. Electromagnetic waves are just types of light that you cannot see with your eyes. Your body is interpreting this invisible light as if it were sunlight, blocking that precious melatonin production that we will talk about later. And what I consider the sneakiest sleep disruptor, revenge bedtime procrastination. Have you ever found yourself scrolling through your phone late at night, even though you know you should be sleeping? That's your brain literally rebelling against sleep because it feels like it didn't get enough me time during the day. It's not about laziness at all. It's your mind demanding the freedom it didn't get during the day. Another element to consider is bedroom ventilation. The air you breathe while sleeping shapes your brain's restoration process. When you have high CO2 levels from poor ventilation, your brain actually thinks it's suffocating, which triggers hundreds of micro wake-ups throughout the night. You never even know it's happening. The air you breathe while sleeping actually tells your brain a fascinating story. Modern homes tend to trap these air pollutants that can triple your sleep disruptions. Your brain is constantly detecting these particles, keeping your nervous system on high alert. It's almost like trying to sleep in a slightly smoky room, even though you can't see or smell anything wrong. Part 4. Psychological influences. Beyond all these physical disruptors we've talked about, your mind actually plays an even more fascinating role in determining your sleep quality. Your mind is the master controller of sleep, and modern life has created what resembles a perfect storm of sleep-destroying thought patterns. Take working from home, for instance. Something many of us are familiar with now. It's literally erased the boundary between our workspace and rest space. And what happens then? Your brain simply can't find its natural off switch anymore. Okay, now it's time to talk about social media. Yes, you heard me right. It isn't just stealing your time, it's hijacking your brain's reward system in a remarkable way. Think about it, every notification, every scroll, every like, they're all triggering these tiny dopamine hits. And before you know it, your brain becomes almost like an addict, craving these hits even when you're trying to wind down for sleep. That constant stream of notifications, it's essentially training your brain to stay in this state of high alert. Even when your phone is completely silent, your brain keeps waiting for the next interruption. This creates an effect similar to trying to sleep while part of your brain is expecting someone to tap your shoulder at any moment. Let's talk about one of the most powerful sleep disruptors, unfinished tasks. You see, your brain evolved this incredible mechanism to keep unresolved problems in an active state. It's trying to protect you. There will always be unfinished tasks. The key is learning when to let your brain know it's okay to let go. Regarding loneliness and social isolation, these feelings trigger ancient survival circuits in your brain. When you feel disconnected, your nervous system stays in this subtle fight-or-flight mode all night long. Your brain evolved to feel safe in a tribe, and it literally struggles to relax fully when it feels alone. Part 5. Nutritional influences. Your psychological state isn't the only internal factor affecting your sleep. What you eat and drink actually creates this fascinating chemical environment that can either make or break your rest. Your stomach and brain are actually having this constant, intricate conversation about sleep. Everything you eat essentially becomes these chemical messengers that either tell your brain, hey, it's time to sleep, or no, stay wide awake. It's like this incredible chemical dance happening inside your body. About that afternoon coffee affecting your sleep, some of us have this genetic mutation that makes caffeine stay in our system up to 4 times longer than others. So what might be a harmless afternoon pick-me-up for your friend could be keeping you staring at the ceiling at midnight. Your gut bacteria play a role in regulating serotonin production. They influence the production of serotonin in the gut, where about 90% of your body's serotonin is produced. That's the chemical your brain later transforms into sleep-inducing melatonin. So when your gut microbes aren't happy, your sleep quality takes a real hit. Blood sugar, instead, is like your sleep's hidden puppet master. When it crashes in the middle of the night, your body releases these stress hormones. It's comparable to your body accidentally setting off its own alarm system. You might not fully wake up, but your sleep becomes shallow and, honestly, pretty worthless. And there's what I call the sleep mineral that your brain absolutely craves: magnesium. It's essentially nature's own tranquilizer, helping your nervous system shift into rest mode. Stress actually depletes magnesium, creating this vicious cycle of poor sleep. Understanding this connection really helps explain why stressful periods often come with sleep troubles. Also, here's something about protein timing. Your brain uses this amino acid called tryptophan from protein to make sleep chemicals, but it can't get through the blood-brain barrier unless you pair it with some carbs. That's actually why a small, protein-rich snack with a bit of honey before bed can work like a natural sleeping pill. Part 6. Practical Solutions. Your sleep drive is actually like a muscle. Here's an experiment you can try. Stay awake for exactly 18 hours after you wake up. Your brain builds up this perfect sleep pressure this way. And remember, it's not about fighting sleepiness. Think of it more like surfing the wave of your natural rhythm. Now, let's talk about napping. A 20-minute nap between 1 and 3 p.m. works with your brain's natural afternoon dip. But here's a pro tip. Always set 2 alarms, one for 20 minutes, one for 25. Why? This simple trick prevents that groggy feeling you get from diving too deep into sleep. When you feel mentally exhausted but not actually sleepy, what your brain really needs is reset time, not sleep. Try this technique that works wonders. Spend 10 minutes focusing on distant objects. I know it sounds too simple, but it actually resets your brain's attention networks better than an hour of scrolling through social media. Also, morning light exposure needs to hit your eyes at the same time every day. And I mean direct morning light, not through windows, not through sunglasses. This acts like pressing the reset button on your brain's master clock. For your evening routine, temperature control. Getting your core temperature to drop is similar to having a master key to deep sleep. Try this. Take a hot shower 90 minutes before bed, then let your room cool down. It's like giving your body the perfect temperature signal for deep sleep. Part 7. Physical practices. Your movement patterns are constantly sending these intricate signals to your brain about sleep. These signals are so powerful that they can either lock you into perfect sleep or keep you tossing and turning all night. Most people typically breathe at about 18 breaths per minute. When you slow that down to just 6 breaths per minute, you trigger your brain's relaxation response. It's almost like having a biological calm button. And when you do this, your heart rate actually syncs with your breath, and sleep chemicals start flooding your brain. When your body has to compensate for poor alignment, it keeps certain muscles tense all night long. The challenge is that tension continuously sends wake-up signals to your brain. Try these simple solutions. Start at your toes. Consciously release each muscle group and watch how your brain naturally slides into deeper sleep. Morning workouts boost your sleep pressure effectively for that night. But evening exercise can actually help sleep if you time it right. The key is finishing 3 hours before bed. Why? Because your body temperature drops after exercise, creating this perfect sleep window. Now, let's take a closer look at relaxation. Progressive muscle relaxation isn't just about relaxing muscles. Each muscle you tense and release sends this powerful safety signal to your brain. Spend 15 minutes doing this, and you're literally rewiring your nervous system for deeper sleep. That yoga pose everyone mentions? When you put your legs up the wall for 10 minutes before bed, you're not just getting comfortable, you're actually resetting your nervous system's stress response. Think of it as telling your brain, hey, the day is done, we're safe now. Part 8. Environmental Optimization. Now that you've mastered how your body sends these sleep signals, we'll explore optimizing your sleep environment to support these natural patterns. Your bedroom isn't just a room. It's essentially a sleep sanctuary that can either enhance or disrupt your sleep quality. Think of it as following your brain's ancient blueprint for safety and restoration. When I started viewing my bedroom this way, it completely changed my approach to sleep. Your brain actually needs this precise thermal map for deep sleep. Start with 67 degrees Fahrenheit when you get into bed, then let it drop to 65 during your deep sleep phase. This process resembles conducting a delicate temperature symphony for your brain. A common misconception exists about mattress firmness. It's not one size fits all. If you're a side sleeper, you need a softer surface to protect your shoulders and hips, while back sleepers need firmer support for proper spine alignment. Your sleeping position actually reshapes how your brain handles its overnight restoration process. Understanding this connection helped me make much better choices for my own sleep setup. Lastly, humidity levels. Your brain is constantly monitoring air moisture to regulate body temperature. Through extensive research, we've found that 40 to 50% humidity creates the perfect environment for your brain's temperature control system. Part 9. Useful tools. Now that we've aligned your body and environment for optimal sleep, let's discuss technology that can enhance these natural improvements further. You see, modern technology isn't just a sleep enemy. Technology can become this powerful ally in your quest for perfect sleep. Studies show this is effective, and what might just be expensive gadgets that don't deliver results. For instance, with sleep tracking, there have been remarkable advancements. The latest devices do something pretty amazing. They measure your heart rate variability, which gives us this fascinating window into your nervous system's recovery state. Checking these scores first thing in the morning can sometimes create this anxiety that actually affects your next night's sleep. It's about using the data wisely, not obsessing over it. Another thing to look at is light therapy. It's not just about brightness levels. Your brain actually needs specific wavelengths at specific times. Consider this. Red light in the evening helps trigger melatonin production, while blue enriched light in the morning helps reset your master clock. In terms of temperature regulation technology, the best systems aren't just cooling your room anymore. They're creating this personalized microclimate around your body that matches your brain's natural temperature rhythm throughout the night. It's like having a thermal autopilot for your sleep. You know, after everything we've explored together, I've come to understand that sleep isn't just this simple daily reset. It's truly your brain's masterpiece of restoration. Think about it. Everything in your life, from what you eat to the light in your room, plays a part in this incredible biological symphony. And that's what makes optimizing your sleep so fascinating. Quality sleep isn't about forcing yourself to lie in bed for exactly 8 hours. Instead, it's about learning to align your entire daily routine with your brain's natural rhythms. Even small adjustments in your daily habits can create these remarkable shifts in your sleep quality. The key message from everything we've discussed today is that your perfect night's sleep isn't a distant dream. Now that you understand the science behind sleep, you have the knowledge to transform those 8 hours into the restorative experience your brain and body need. And remember, this isn't just about improving tonight's sleep. It's about revolutionizing every single day of your life ahead. When we optimize our sleep, we're essentially optimizing our entire lives. Before we wrap up, I want to encourage you to start small. Pick just one or two of the strategies we've discussed. Maybe it's that morning light exposure or the evening temperature control, and begin there. Sleep optimization is a journey, not a race, and every small step forward counts. Think of it this way. You're not just working on better sleep, you're investing in your brain's incredible ability to restore and rejuvenate itself. and that's something truly worth getting excited about. If this helped you understand sleep better, hit subscribe, like this video, and share your own sleep journey in the comments below.